Spain were embarrassed, knocked out of their own tournament before it started. A goalless draw against Cape Verde, one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history. And the entire football world was asking one question: where is Lamine Yamal? He answered on Sunday night in Atlanta, in the most emphatic way possible. Welcome back to Robert's Football Talk. I am your host, and if you are new here, subscribe right now because today we are breaking down the Lamine Yamal story from every angle. The Cape Verde disaster, the hamstring scare, the comeback against Saudi Arabia, and why, at just 18 years old, this kid is already carrying an entire nation on his shoulders. Let us go. Let me set the scene for you first. Spain went into the 2026 World Cup as one of the favorites, reigning European champions. A squad packed with world-class talent. Rodri in midfield, Oyarzabal up front, and Lamine Yamal on the right wing. The most exciting teenage footballer on the planet. The player whose face is literally on giant billboards outside the stadium in Atlanta. The player the entire tournament had been waiting to see. And then they drew 0-0 with Cape Verde. Cape Verde, a nation of 500,000 people. A team ranked 46th in the world. Spain, European champions, could not score against them. Could not create. Could not find a single moment of magic in 90 minutes. It was described as one of the biggest shocks in World Cup history. And Yamal was not even in the starting 11. He came on for the last 19 minutes as Spain chased a goal that never came. The criticism was brutal. Spanish media destroyed their own team. Former players could not believe what they had watched. And the pressure going into the Saudi Arabia game was the kind of pressure that breaks teams at major tournaments. It did not break Spain, it unleashed them. Now, before we get into what happened against Saudi Arabia, I want to ask you something. Spain 0-0 Cape Verde was one of the biggest shocks of this World Cup so far. Did you see it coming, or did it completely surprise you? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I want to know what the Roberts Football Talk community thought when that final whistle blew. Because what happened in Atlanta on Sunday night was the complete opposite of Cape Verde. And Lamine Yamal was at the center of every single moment. Spain coach Luis de la Fuente made one huge decision before the Saudi Arabia game. Yamal starts. Despite the hamstring injury he had been carefully managing, despite saying just days before the match that it was very early and unnecessary to play a full match, despite the cautious approach Spain had taken with him since the tournament began. De La Fuente looked at his squad, looked at what Cape Verde had exposed, and decided the only way to fix it was to put his best player on the pitch from minute one. The decision was vindicated within seconds. Lamine Yamal touched the ball within the first few seconds of the match, and immediately the entire atmosphere changed. His first cross was nodded away. His second attempt led directly to the goal, and in the 11th minute, Yamal scored his first ever World Cup goal with a composed poked finish on a tight angle after Oyarzabal's cross found him at the back post. 10 minutes, 1 goal, and Spain were already a completely different team to the one that could not break down Cape Verde 6 days earlier. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk right now if you have not already, because we are about to break down exactly what Yamal did to Saudi Arabia and why it was so special. By the time Yamal touched the ball for that goal, Spain had already completed 39 passes in the build-up. No team at this entire tournament had done that before a goal. Not one. Spain were suffocating Saudi Arabia with their passing and movement, and Yamal was the reason. His runs, his positioning, his willingness to take on his man and force the issue made space for everyone around him. And then the numbers got even more extraordinary. Spain became the first team since Germany in 2014 to score 3 goals inside the first 25 minutes of a World Cup match. 3 goals in 25 minutes. From a team that could not score once against Cape Verde. That is what Lamine Yamal does to a football team. He does not just contribute individually. He elevates everyone around him. Oyarzabal scored twice. The own goal from Saudi Arabia made it 4. Ferran Torres had a 5th, ruled out by VAR. Spain were extraordinary. And Yamal? He was substituted at halftime with the score already 3-0. His coach told the press he could have stayed on. The decision was purely about managing his workload with the tournament still in its early stages. He had done enough. More than enough. Spain were already winning 3-0, and Yamal had been involved in everything good they did. After the match, Yamal told Des that drawing a match you know you should win really stings, that it made them think a lot, and that it helped them approach the Saudi Arabia game exactly the way they wanted. That is not the language of a teenager. That is the language of a leader. Now I want to ask you something. Yamal scored in his first World Cup start and became the 8th youngest scorer in men's World Cup history. Do you think he can win the Golden Boot at this tournament? Drop your prediction in the comments. This is the debate everyone in football is having right now. Because here is what makes the Lamine Yamal story so extraordinary, beyond just the goal and the performance. He is 18 years old. He watched the last World Cup in class at school. He literally told journalists that. He was sitting in a classroom watching Qatar 2022 while Messi was lifting the trophy, and now he is at his own World Cup scoring goals and leading Spain to victories in front of 70,000 people. The maturity this kid shows is simply not normal. He came into the Saudi Arabia match under the most intense pressure. Spain's tournament was already looking shaky after the Cape Verde draw. The entire Spanish media was questioning the squad. And Yamal, 18 years old, recovering from a hamstring injury, walked onto that pitch in Atlanta and immediately became the best player in the stadium. His relationship with Coach De La Fuente is key to understanding how he performs in these moments. Yamal told reporters that there is complete trust between them, that De La Fuente asks how he is feeling, that he told the coach he was ready to play and would always give 100% for Spain. That level of communication and mutual respect between a manager and his young star player creates the kind of environment where a teenager can go out and perform without fear. Compare that to what we saw with Vinicius Jr. at Real Madrid this season, a star player at odds with his manager, substituted in big moments, publicly at war with the coaching staff. That environment destroys confidence. What Spain have built around Yamal is the complete opposite of that, and the results speak for themselves. Subscribe to Robert's Football Talk and share this video because we are about to get into the bigger picture. What does Yamal at this World Cup mean for Spain's chances of winning the whole thing? Because here is the thing about Spain that gets overlooked in all the Yamal excitement. This is not a one-man team. Rodri is back in the squad, and when he is fit and available, he is still one of the best midfielders in world football. Oyarzabal scored twice against Saudi Arabia and looked sharp and dangerous throughout. Ferran Torres was unlucky to have a goal ruled out. The depth in this Spain squad is enormous, but when Yamal is on the pitch and firing, Spain become a completely different proposition to every other team in this tournament. His pace, his dribbling, his ability to play in tight spaces, his vision, his composure in front of goal at 18 years old. It is genuinely frightening for every defender at this World Cup who knows they might have to face him in the knockout rounds. De La Fuente confirmed after the match that Yamal is now in perfect condition to play full matches. That was the cautious approach working exactly as planned. They brought him in gradually, managed his hamstring, got him sharp with a cameo against Cape Verde and a half against Saudi Arabia. And now, heading into the knockout stages, they will have a fully fit Lamine Yamal at the peak of his powers. That is a terrifying thought for anyone who might face Spain next. Spain go top of Group H after the 4-0 win. They need one more result to guarantee their place in the knockout rounds. And when they get there, they will have their talisman back, fully fit, already with a World Cup goal in his legs, already with the confidence that comes from destroying Saudi Arabia in front of the world. Now let me ask you the final question. We have seen Messi at this World Cup already producing a hat-trick for Argentina. We have seen Mbappe with France. We have seen Haaland for Norway. But after Sunday night in Atlanta, is Lamine Yamal the most exciting player at the entire 2026 World Cup? Drop your honest take in the comments. I read every single one. Because here is what I believe after watching what happened on Sunday night. Messi is the greatest of all time, and his performance for Argentina was extraordinary. Mbappe is one of the best players on the planet, but neither of them is 18 years old. Neither of them is doing what they do at 18. Messi was 19 at his first World Cup and was not yet the Messi we know. Mbappe was 19 at his first World Cup and scored 4 goals on his way to a winner's medal. Yamal is 18. He watched the last World Cup in a classroom. And he is already here, already scoring, already the most important player for one of the tournament favorites, already making the 8th youngest scorer list in World Cup history. The trajectory this kid is on is simply unlike anything football has seen in a generation. Not since Mbappe in 2018. Not since Ronaldo in 2004. There are players who arrive at major tournaments and meet the moment, and then there are players who arrive and make the tournament theirs. Lamine Yamal is trying to make this one his, and after Sunday night in Atlanta, nobody can say he does not deserve to. Spain have a World Cup to win. Yamal has a golden boot and maybe a golden ball to chase. And the rest of the tournament has just been put on notice that when Spain are at their best, with their best player fully fit and firing, they are the most dangerous team at the 2026 World Cup. That is the full breakdown. Yamal silenced every critic in Atlanta. Spain are back. And the most exciting teenager in world football is just getting started. What is your prediction? Does Yamal win the Golden Boot? Does Spain win the whole tournament? Drop everything in the comments right now. I genuinely want to know. This has been Robert's Football Talk. Hit that like button, share this with every football fan you know, and subscribe if you are not already part of this channel. New videos every single week, and this World Cup is delivering something new every single day. I will see you in the next one.